Welcome to Sports Central and the second show of Revolution 23. I'm joined yet again with Martin McCrossan, and the two of us will be telling you about all the races that you'll be seeing on today's show. But before we do that, let's just recap quickly on the track cycling we saw last week.
The Devil's Scratch goes to Geraint Thomas.
Let's make some music.
Hales and Newton, Kenya comes over the top. Chris Newton takes the points race. Can they break the record of Chris Hoy and Arnold Turnon? And Clancy comes to the line, and they are fractionally outside once again. Stephen Burke trying to get on terms, but Ed Clancy takes the men's 10-kilometre scratch race.
This is our decision to live fast.
She's looking very, very smooth. It's Vicky Pendleton. Comes round towards the line, comes up and stops the clock. 11.258. Vicky Pendleton kicks over the top, comes around and takes a comfortable victory.
What else can we do?
Varnish, very similar style to Vicky Pendleton. That second kick in the back straight, and she looks like she's going to hold it, and she does. Pendleton now comes up to the line. She stops the clock. Pendleton 35.095. Vicky Pendleton comes over the top and takes it by about 20 metres.
An interesting battle in the Madison Time Trial that was to some surprise to the riders, and we got to see the queen of sprinting, Victoria Pendleton, which was an exclusive as she doesn't race here at the Revolution very often. Martin, what does Revolution 23 bring to this show?
We've got so much. What do you want to start with?
The endurance women. What females have we got, and tell us about the 3 races they'll be competing in.
Well, as you said, there's only 3. They're quite short tonight, so that might favour some of the punchier riders. Hannah Mayo, Sarah Reynolds, they both had victories at last Revolution. Hannah Mayo by the smallest of margins. Alex Greenfield didn't take any victories last time, but she's been consistent. She took the Future Stars title last year, and she's really lived up to her billing, moving up to the elite women's. So I think we could predict a victory for her tonight.
Well, I believe young Alex Greenfield could be the female version of Stephen Burke.
I think you're right, and I think Alex would really like that comment. She's got age on her side, she's incredibly talented, and I think we've got Olympic gold in her future. But one other rider that we're going to see in action tonight is Paralympian Sarah Story, and she is an incredible athlete. She won her first Paralympic medal in swimming at just 14 years of age. She won many Paralympic medals and then got injured and switched to cycling, and then in 2008 she took her first Paralympic gold in cycling as well, and it's a real fairy story.
I think I can equal that story or even better it. She got married last year to Paralympic pilot Barney Story. They both made their Olympic debut in Beijing, and they both came home with 2 gold medals. What did you do in your first year of marriage?
Well, I'm not married, so I can't really comment on that, but one thing I do know is I've known Barney Story for over 20 years, and I'm incredibly proud of what he's achieved, and I'm sure the Stories have got quite a hefty mantelpiece for all that gold.
I'm sure they have. Well, I caught up with Sarah to see just how excited she is in racing at her first Revolution, and also to reflect on her success in everything. So I've seen you at the Revolution supporting many times, but this is your first time competing. How does it feel?
I'm quite nervous actually, but I'm very excited, and there's such a huge crowd here tonight. It's going to be amazing. I've never done a motor pace scratch race before, so that'd be quite interesting. I've obviously done points races in training and things, so I'm just going to see how it goes and maybe try and win a few points in the points race. I'm not really sure.
Now, me and Martin have been discussing your first year of marriage. Do you think anybody could beat your first year of marriage?
It's been pretty amazing, hasn't it? Yeah, in the first year, having won 4 gold medals between us, MBEs, OBEs, and numerous world records, it's been absolutely incredible. I mean, I never dreamt when I got my MBE that I'd ever get elevated in the order to an officer with the OBE. It's really quite incredible, and I still pinch myself. But it was absolutely amazing to have Barney to share the secret with, because when you get those letters in mid-November, you're not allowed to tell anyone until December the 30th, when the press get hold of you and say, hey, well done, how do you feel? So it's been incredible.
Sarah's been quoted saying, "Life's a journey, follow your dreams and be happy." She's certainly living by her words. Martin, there aren't many international riders racing at Revolution 23. The only international rider we saw was last week in the women's sprint with Victoria Pendleton. Is that because the beginning of the year is quite quiet in track racing?
You've got that transition period in cycling. Before Christmas, we see a lot of road riders, Ben Swift a prime example, who are now preparing for a big season in road racing. He'll be on a training camp. On the track, we've got World Cups, and we're also building up to the World Championships in March. That's quite a critical time for riders training and racing.
Well, let's hope that this year brings just as much cycling success as last year. However, am I correct in saying that the year after the Olympics, that's the time to feather the brakes, in other words, have a mini rest, and then start gearing up to 2012, with, say, 3 years to go?
For some of the bigger riders, such as Chris Hoy, Victoria Pendleton, they can almost be racing for a year and a half in Olympic year. So the year after, it's time for countries such as Great Britain or Australia to start giving some of the youngsters a chance to bring them through the World Cups and World Championships and prepare them for 2012. So we see a lot of that in the year after the Olympics.
And Martin, now let's move on to the younger generation, the future stars. After an epic evening's racing at Revolution 22, Sam Harrison and Ruby Miller have kept their leader's jersey, but it's ever so close. Does that mean we're in for some exciting racing?
Well, exciting racing and future stars just goes hand in hand. The kids love racing in front of this capacity crowd, and they always give it full gas. In the girls, Ruby Miller, she didn't take any victories last time, and the others are just chipping away at her lead, but she was consistent, and that's the key. She kept her leader's jersey by virtue of scoring the minor placing. In the boys' competition, Sam Harrison, 2 victories at Revolution 22 and 3 victories at the last one. And what can we say about him?
Well, Sam's made a number of brave efforts, but despite those efforts, there's still only a small number of points between him and second place rider Simon Yates. Sam isn't going to be racing at Revolution 23. Does that mean the leaders board is going to change?
It could change, and I think that's up to Simon. But I think it's important to point out that Sam Harrison isn't here because he's preparing for the British Cyclocross Championships, which will hopefully qualify him for the World Cyclocross Championships. And as with Ruby Miller, who competes in road cycling and triathlon, it's very, very important when you're young to try all the cycling disciplines before you specify and decide what you're best at.
Well, I caught up with the leaders. Of course, we couldn't catch up with Sam, but also the runners-up, because I wanted to get the overall picture of how they feel the end of Revolution 23 will look.
Hopefully I'll still be in the leader's jersey. Hopefully pick up a win on the way, keep up my high placings, just go out and enjoy the racing.
I think it's going to be really tight, especially between me and Ruby, as there's only 6 points between us already. So I think it's going to be pretty close at the top towards the end.
The fact that Sam's not racing, is that making you more confident?
Slightly, but there's still a lot of people nipping at my heels, so keep my wits about me.
So to get that leader's jersey, what do you think you've got to do?
Oh, just be consistent really in all the events, make sure I pick up as many points as I can.
I think we're in for some fantastic racing from the future stars. It's great to see how they hold their own against the elites. You've got to give them some credit for that. Now, you'll be seeing the future stars in action later on in the show. For now, we're going to go to the elite endurance women.
Jess Allen of Wales now on the front. Sarah Reynolds trying to come through as well. Danny King in the blue trying to come over the top. But they come round. Jess Allen up to the line for Wales. Sarah Story now makes a move over the top. The Paralympic champion. Big attack by Sarah Story. And the chase behind. They know they can't let her get away. Lucy Martin of Great Britain trying to answer the attack. Katie Colclough 100% me now. Powering to cross the gap is Katie Colclough. 5 points to Sarah Story. Colclough takes 3. Story took that from Colclough, Martin and Greenfield. This is how Alex Greenfield does it. Starts to score little points here and there. Now 5 riders off the front. Hayley Edwards comes now. Corinne Hall now. Powers over the top. Corinne Hall, she's been chased with Katie Calvert of I-Team. Corinne Hall takes that from Calvert. The leaderboard with 2 sprints remaining. Corinne Hall, Sarah Story, Jess Allen, Katie Colclough. It's all very, very close at the top. Corinne Hall and Sarah Story. Where's Corinne Hall? She's there. Sarah Story just a little bit too far back at the moment. But it's Kate Calvert comes over the top, and she's placed 5th at the moment. Calvert now of I-Team with Katie Colclough. Corinne Hall takes the 3 points. Here comes Katie Colclough. She wants this one. Katie Colclough, she's being chased by Lucy Martin. Danny King on the inside for Vision 1 Racing. Here comes Katie Colclough. Kate Calvert of I-Team trying to come over the top. Does she have the speed? Katie Colclough holding it at the moment, and into the finishing straight. Colclough, just loses that sprint at the moment by Lucy Martin. Katie Colclough takes the points race, 10 points. Kate Calvert also takes 10, but Katie Colclough takes that by virtue of her higher placings in the sprints.
Isn't that your first Revolution win?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I had a few seconds and thirds last year. This is the first I've actually won. First few laps, I just kind of waiting to see what's happening, and then after the first sprint, I tried to attack, and then just kept it going from there, really, and just tried to ride hard throughout, really.
He signals that he's pulling off. Danny King on the front. Danny King now takes up Katie Colclough just on the wheel. Alex Greenfield, Jess Allen, Katie Fernie-Howe in the white. Danny King decides from the back of the Derny to the back of the Welsh train. They're going to get the bell this time, and it's Jess Allen who hits the front with Danny King on the wheel. Sarah Reynolds in 3rd place. Here comes Danny King. She fought for the position behind the Derny. Here comes Danny King of Vision 1 over the top. Good power and effort by her. She comes round. Danny King takes that. Great effort by her. And now you see why Nicole Cook has picked her as a teammate for 2009 Vision 1 team.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Had a few close wins before, but tonight got on it and won the race, so I'm really pleased.
So what do you think your key to success was tonight?
I was on the sprint ODP for a year, and it came down to a sprint with 1 lap to go, so I think that's what won me the race.
Story on the front, Jennings just in 2nd place. They get the bell this time. Big power, Danny King trying to come over the top. Kate Calvert, they've got to pull them back. Sinead Jennings of Ireland is well up there. Here comes Danny King. Kate Calvert coming over the top. Sinead Jennings trying to come through as well. Over the top, Danny King once again. 2 victories in one evening for Danny King of Vision 1 Racing. She is in incredible form this evening.
So what are you learning from the Revolution?
Oh, it's just wicked bike racing. Women's racing's getting faster and faster, and it's just amazing, really good fun.
So what are your future goals?
Well, I've just been signed on to Vision 1, which is Nicole Cook's new racing team, so hopefully that'll bring me loads of opportunities, and it should be really good.
That's all for part 1, but join me after the break for the Future Stars. The event is ever so close, and the boys' leader, Sam Harrison, isn't racing at Revolution 23, so it could all change. Welcome back. We're at the Manchester Velodrome for Revolution 23, and we're about to go to the Future Stars.
And the attacks come. They get underway now. This is what we want to see. Morag Eggleston of Scotland now takes off the front Natalie Hill of the Central region. Morag Eggleston of Scotland now 3 riders in the lead. You got Morag on the front, 1 lap to go. Number 142, Hannah Walker now of the Eastern region on the front. And here comes some power from behind. Walker now, can she hang on? And the attacks from behind are coming, and it's Ruby Miller trying to close the gap. Ruby Miller comes over the top. Oh, Ruby Miller times it to perfection.
I'm really pleased. I just did exactly what my coach said. Show myself early at the start, then go in, sit in, get into position. If you want to go early, and then I just went. And my teammate Amy Roberts, she was pacing me out, and she started getting quicker and quicker, and then I just jumped it. And it was really good. It was really good team effort as well, which I'm really pleased about.
Where is Simon Yates? He's in 2nd place. The Northwest now sitting in 2nd, 3rd and 4th place behind John Paul. John Paul leading it out for John Diven. Here come the Northwest region. Simon Yates now in second place behind John Paul. John Paul on the front. Yates is going to have to try and come over the top. He can't come round at the moment. John Paul into the home straight. Is he going to take the win? He is. John Paul takes it. And a first victory of the winter to John Paul.
It was a hard race. A lot of people were taking risks. But yeah, found myself on the front with 2 to go and thought, you got to take that chance. So I let out and it was hard, but yeah, it was a good race.
It looks like Eleanor Barker that comes over the top for the Welsh. They're all looking at Ruby Miller at the moment, and it's Eleanor Barker now powering off the front for Wales. Harriet Owen takes up the chase. Ruby Miller sitting on the wheel of Laura Trott at the moment. They're going to get the bell this time. Eleanor Barker off the front for Wales. Harriet Owen in second place. Here comes Ruby Miller. Laura Trott well up there. Harriet Owen kicks over the top. Miller trying to get on terms. Still Harriet Owen on the front. Miller coming through. Laura Trott on the wheel. Harriet Owen holding at the moment. Just on the outside. It looks like Harriet Owen might have the power. Here comes Ruby Miller. Oh, photo finish. Right on the line. Harriet Owen, Ruby Miller and Laura Trott. It's going to take a photo to separate them. Harriet Owen takes the scratch race. She holds on. Ruby Miller takes second.
What an awesome win. I think you had the crowd on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, it was a really close race. It's really fun.
So just take us through the race.
Oh wow, I just followed the wheels mostly through the race, and there was some attacks, but they got caught back quite quickly. And then I attacked the 2 to go and just won on the line.
Simon Yates of the Northwest region is the rider that everyone else has to look to now. Second in the first race of the night. Can he pick up some more points here to try and extend that lead overall? Adam Yates now starts the sprint on the front. Yates leading out, local rider. Big effort by him, and he's holding it at the moment. 5.32 and 1 points, and he comes through and over the top. Tom Gregory of West Midlands who takes that sprint. Now Yates goes, looks around at the rest. Simon Yates makes the effort. He has to win this points race. He has to get as many high placings overall with Sam Harrison absent if he stands any chance of winning the DHL Future Stars competition. Yates now takes the maximum points. Simon Yates doing the right thing, not letting anyone out of his sight at the moment. Get the whistle for the next sprint. Simon Yates now needs to accelerate. Jim Lewis on the front. Yates now, all tight little squeeze there, but Yates manages to hold it. He's still got that inside line. He'll be screaming to everyone. And Simon Yates, supremely confident, holds that inside line. Over the top comes John Paul. John Paul takes maximum points. Simon Yates takes second with 3. Where is Simon Yates? He's on the wheel of his brother. They're going to get the bell this time. Simon Yates has got some work to do if he's going to close this one down. He can't get himself boxed. He can't afford to do that. He's got to try and score some points. Adam Yates leading his brother. Still on the front, it's Robert Forrest. Here comes the Northwest region. Simon Yates trying to score himself some minor points on the front. Richard Forrest of Wales takes that. And we'll look to the judges for confirmation. Confirmation, Simon Yates takes the points race from Richard Forrest.
You won through consistency rather than going for the maximal effort.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of points early on, and it kind of helped. I had a bit of a cushion, so I could just control the race from there.
Anna Leyland now. We've got a group of 4 riders forcing their way over the front. Ruby Miller and Harriet Owen are both in that group. Here goes Harriet Owen. Ruby Miller trying to fight to get on terms. Laura Trott comes over the top in 3rd place. Harriet Owen looks like she's going to take maximum points on the opening sprint. Laura Trott comes through to take the 2nd place. Ruby Miller now on the front. Hannah Manley on the wheel. Melissa Burry in 3rd place. Harriet Owen struggling to get on terms. Laura Trott closes the gap, but on the front, Ruby Miller puts the power down, and she's going to lead this one. Takes a maximum points this time. Miller takes a 5. But now off the front still, Hannah Manley has got the gap at the moment, leading with 2 sprints to go. Ruby Miller has 7, Harriet Owen on 5, Laura Trott also with 5, Hannah Manley has 3, but now Hannah Manley trying to force her way off the front, and we've got a crash in the back straight in the girls racing. Someone just touching a wheel. They get underway again. Hannah Manley back into her stride. Laura Trott on the front. Ruby Miller is going to drop down into the group. Got to look around. Gets the pace up. Harriet Owen is there. Can Hannah Manley hold it all the way to the finish? The rest of the group aren't chasing her. She's got almost half a lap lead at the moment. Hannah Leyland on the front. If she takes this, she's going to ride into victory, and it looks like she is. Gutsy ride by Hannah Manley. That's how you win a points race. Throws the gauntlet down to everybody else, and she's going to take maximum points on the final sprint. Ruby Miller trying to come through as well, but on the front it's Hannah Manley that comes round to take the final sprint and takes the Future Stars girls points race.
Now, you played a very active race and it seemed to pay off.
Yeah, because all the girls that I normally race with, they are mostly sprinters, so they leave it to the end, and I can't really compete with them at that point. I'm like with them, but I can't win, so I have to go off the front like I did, and yeah, it pays off.
Over the top, big effort by Stephen Gallagher of Central Region. Gallagher now, big effort by him. The Canadians look like they're getting washed away a little bit. You're going to have to come over the top of the teammate. Stephen Gallagher now, big effort by him on the front for the Central Region. It's the Southwest Region team that are trying to fight to get on terms. John Dibben of the Southwest Region. Over the top, here comes Scott Mulder of Canada. The big Canadian trying to get over the top at the moment. Big power down. John Paul is in there. Looking very, very good as John Paul. Matt Bailey of the West Midlands. Bailey now. John Dibben trying to get on terms. Mulder is in there. But Bailey on the front for the West Midlands, and he comes round to take it. And once again, John Paul comes through on the line. He came out of nowhere, did young John Paul. He's done that twice this evening, and that could go to a photo finish. Matt Bailey hangs on, takes it from John Paul, Adam Yates and Jordan Hargreaves.
So what do you think your advantage was?
Well, I've been having some hard training recently. Going on the ODP camps, which has been good, so I think that's prepared me well.
So the 6-lap dash, you'd think it was a sprint event, but you don't look like a sprinter.
No, I'm a bit of an endurance rider, but I sort of turned the tables tonight and done well in the sprint event, so quite pleased.
That's all for Sports Central and Revolution 23. If you want to rewatch the show, you can do by going to www.channelm.co.uk and going to the Sports Central homepage. Now, we like to end the show with an event which is special in some way or another, and we're going to do that by an Italian celebrity pursuit.
Victoria Pendleton pulling it back now. It's going to be all to play for on the final lap. Victoria Pendleton and Anna Blythe hand over to Ed Clancy and Jason Kenny. Clancy and Kenny, two very, very different riders. Clancy now winds it up, and Clancy is marginally in the lead. Jason Kenny into the final turn. Who's going to take it? It looks like the home straight, Ed Clancy. And it's taken by the team of Dennis Betts, Ruby Miller, Lucy Martin, Simon Yates, Victoria Pendleton and Ed Clancy.